Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm a worship leader at Calvary Chapel San Pedro, located in the harbor area of Los Angeles, California. And today I want to share with you a modification that we did using an upright piano. We took the guts out and we're putting our keyboard on top of it. And you might have seen a number of videos of other churches doing this, and I will link a couple videos of those churches doing it down below. But today I specifically want to talk to you guys about the sustainment pedal, because I noticed as I was doing my research that the sustainment pedal was usually an afterthought, and I want to show you a modification that we did using the original parts and only doing one or two trips to the hardware store. It would be one. It was multiple for me as I was coming up with the right idea to do it, but I want to show you what we did, and if you plan on doing this mod, you can preserve as much of the piano as possible, and I think this will help reduce a few headaches as you're trying to figure out the best way to do a setup like this. Of course, before we started the project, we had to find a piano, so we lucked out a quick search on Craigslist. We found two pianos that were free, both within about 15-20 minute drive from us. So we picked one that looked the best on the photos. We went and rented a trailer from your local truck rental place. Please get one large enough and one that has a ramp. Very handy. We lucked out. The owner of the piano, his home was only one story. The piano was in the very back of the sliding door of the house, so it was really easy to get out of the home. And then our church is only one story, so it was just push it up the ramp, push it down the ramp, push it into this room that I'm sitting in now, and we were able to start working on it. Another great thing about this piano is that the finish on it was pretty pristine. Not too many marks, scuffs, not too much doling. I mean, it does look aged, but won't require a lot of finish, and I think it's going to look great on stage as is. I'll show you in the next clip. If you want, and I think I might even consider it, the back of the piano, which is going to be shown to the congregation, and we may go over it with some stain and finish it just to give it more of a polished look, but we'll see how it goes. But for the most part, it's done. So let's get to it and let me show you what we did. So as you can see here, this is a modification. A number of videos suggest you take out this cast iron heart piece right here. I think we're going to decide to leave it in. It's number of large flat tip screws that hold this to the back of the piano, and I broke my screwdriver and a number of tools trying to get a few of them loose, but for the most part you could take this entire piano apart using a large flat tip screwdriver. You can see all the parts and pieces right here, bucket of keys, piano strings, the hammers. Not too bad. Got it all cleaned up. Looks pretty nice. It was a great find. Gentleman we got it from a city next door. He was getting rid of it, needed to move, and didn't want it no more. So it was completely out of tune, and the original keys were discolored, and some were actually broken. So I didn't feel too bad stripping apart this instrument, but it would have been a nice restoration if somebody wanted to go that route. But we took it apart. You see our Yamaha Mo XF8 keyboard sitting nicely inside of here. Sits a little higher than when we had the keyboard on the stand, but yeah, it's easily fixed with using a adjustable piano bench. But purpose of the video, right down here, you can see this cool lever setup. You can see our electronic pedal, and you can see the sustainment pedal of the original piano. This bar here, there's actually two of them. It's like a duplicate setup, and what it originally looked like, and I'll do my best to describe it, it was this bar was turned the other way around, so the tapered end was pointing to the left, and it was one, like I said, one for each pedal. And at the very end, and actually this hole would have been over here. There was a wood dowel pointing up to press on the mechanisms. So like I said, there's a duplicate setup. Pause. Just made a mistake in describing the sustainment pedal setup, so I want to make sure it's right. So if someone decides to do this, you're not too confused with the instructions I gave. So this hole I had to drill. This hole where the bolt is was the original hole that was facing the other way to the left that had the wood dowel inserted into it. So this center, there's 3 holes in this bar now. That was original, this hole's original, and this is the one that I had to drill. Okay, moving on. So what I did, I preserved the pedals. You can see here, there's like an actual kind of a spring. It's all attached with screws, so I just removed the bar, turned it aside, set it at a distance I need it. Actually, I had to re-drill a hole so I could fit it over this metal post. But for the most part, I just reused the hardware and the pieces that were with the piano. On this other end on the right, I used a carriage bolt and a nut and wing nut setup. It's the carriage bolt, a nut, there's a washer underneath the nut, and then there's a lock washer, and then the wing nut. Might be an overkill, but just wanted to make sure I didn't get any movement while using it. Pause again. I forgot to mention that the hole where their carriage bolt is running through, I did have to drill that out to the correct diameter. So something to think about. Make sure you have your drill and the necessary drill bits to do this job. There's already a hole, like I said, that goes through there, but it's much too small for what you will need. Moving on. This is a simple solution on securing the pedal, the keyboard pedal to the piano. You could find these couplers at any hardware store. They're really easy to find. The one I used was a 3-inch. I had to use most of the travel on these clamps, but it works. It's held together. It's held in there pretty tight. I attached the clamp with 2 screws. One at the corner at the edge here. Actually, I kind of bent the coupler to like a right angle, so it just fit at that bottom corner. And then I tucked screwed 2 fasteners into the piano. This one actually has a rubber lining. I cut that lining in half so that it could be tucked in as a, can't see it too much, but it's right there. So they could just overlap each other while you screw things down tight. But it works. These sustainment pedals, the original and the keyboard one, they don't need a whole lot of travel for it to do what it needs to do. But I think it's a clean setup. It kind of preserves as much as the original look as possible, and then of course you could hide all this stuff with the wood panel that attaches to the front of here if you wanted to do that. But I like it. Like I said, just wanted to share this setup. I just want to share this setup because, like I noticed on a number of videos I looked at for this project, they didn't have anything specific for the pedal. It was usually an afterthought. So if you're planning on doing this, go for it. I think it's just an awesome way of being creative and just doing something different with your stage design. If you have any questions on how I did that specific modification, just feel free to comment below, and I'll reply back and just give you my thoughts. All right? So appreciate you watching this video. God bless.